The Midlander was a passenger train that operated in the Australian state of Queensland from 1954 between Rockhampton and Winton. It was the first ever air-conditioned train in all of Queensland, replacing the previous wooden-bodied mail train. This train would have a stable life until 1960, where disaster struck. On the night of the 25th of February 1960, a Rockhampton-bound Midlander Express service was charging towards the town of Alpha, Queensland. This was for a locomotive switch. 20-year-old Barry Manson, night officer at the station, recorded down that the train, after the locomotive change, consisted of a regular set of the Midlander's air-conditioned coaches, Class C-17 steam locomotive number 826, with Sam Dean as the driver, and Leonard Len Wilson as the fireman, and C-17 number 712, with George Krause as the driver, and Neville Helmuth as fireman. This crew would take the train to Bergen-Tungan over the Drummond Range. As midnight passed over, the train would leave from Alpha at 12:25 am, 28 minutes late. This would send the train straight towards the Medway Creek Railway Bridge. At 9 p.m. the day before, a massive storm would hit the area. The pylons of the bridge were damaged severely by it, not only from severe termite damage but also from a 12-ton gun tree colliding with the tree pylon. As the train crossed the river, it gave way and disaster struck. At 2:30 am, the bridge gives way and the train plunges into the creek. 3 of the sleeping cars fell into the creek, crushing each other in the process. One carriage rested precariously dangling from the bridge, somehow not falling off. 7 people died. These were Samuel George Hedges, the conductor, Alexander Fraser, a passenger, Arthur George Sondergeld, Alan George Martin, George Albert Krause, Neville Eric Helmuth, and Harold Edward Large. 43 people were injured as well. A special train was organised to travel to the disaster site to assist. One of the people credited with the recovery of the disaster was Lawrence Murray, an Aboriginal railway fellow who had been travelling in the last carriage with his family. He had rushed down to the wreckage, fording through the submerged carriages, and carried children to the creek bank before entering the other carriages to look for more survivors, suffering gashes to his feet from broken glass after taking off his shoes to help survivors. He would die of a heart attack following the accident, but was posthumously honoured with the Queen's Commendation for brave conduct, along with 2 other passengers, John Bennett and Alan Streeter. Flying doctor flights had to be sent to the site for live surgery. In the end, the Medway Creek Bridge would be rebuilt and would reopen on the 2nd of March 1960. A museum at Bergen-Tungan displays memorabilia from the crash. The Midlander would be merged with the Capricornian, a train between Brisbane and Rockhampton. This resulted in a new train called the Spirit of the Outback in 1993. The new service starts at Brisbane and terminates at Longreach, with a coach servicing the line between Longreach and Winton. It is currently operated by QR Travel. On the 18th of November 2000, 3W56 Longreach-bound Spirit of the Outback train was involved in a 50-metre near-miss with a Gladstone-bound coal train. In June 2021, a $1 million business case was made for the manufacturing of new rolling stock for it and 2 other trains, the Westlander and the Inlander. Alpha and Emerald stations are still open, but Bergen-Tungan was closed down years ago. It was never written down when it closed. It is unknown what happened to the C-17 steam engines involved in the crash, but it's most likely that they were scrapped after it. In the end, this crash would be the 2nd worst train crash in all of Queensland's history.